Thank you, George. This is one area where there is some difference between Richard and myself. In terms of the deficit, today our government spends about $3.5 trillion a year. Revenues bring in about $2.2 trillion a year. That leaves us with that delta of $1.3 trillion. Now, the stimulus funding, what I like to really call it stabilization funding, is about $900 billion. So we have this ingrained deficit of about $400 billion that we have to close. So then it's like, well, how do you close that? How do you shrink that down to nothing? And I think you need about a three-phased approach. One is, I agree, we need to grow jobs, but not necessarily by retraining people. We need to grow jobs that they can move into, because we have plenty of people in the 10th District that are fully qualified for jobs. The jobs just aren't there to be had. So we need to grow jobs, and I have a plan for that. We also need to revisit our tax structure. We still have an industrial-age tax structure. We still have the last vestiges of trickle-down economics in our tax structure. Many of us are going to be filling out our taxes in the next 10 days, and you're going to run up against the AMT. It'll intrigue you to know that if, in the likely event, you make more than $433,000 a year, the AMT rate actually goes down for you. But the middle class, we're paying 33 to 35%. So we have to change our revenue stream. And finally, we also need to change where we're spending our money. Primarily, that's going to either be in mandatory spending or in discretionary spending. In discretionary spending, there is still ways where you can cut. For example, half of our discretionary spending is in terms of the military budget. We spend as much as the rest of the world combined on the military. There is great savings to be had in that sector.